Alright, so today we'll be talking about Weill Marchesani syndrome. Just imagine that this takes place in a basketball game setting. So kind of like a high school game, and they have a cheer, "We will march on." And unfortunately, these patients tend to be bad basketball players, which we'll go into in more detail here. So first of all, we have our patient or our basketball player here. He's a high myope, so he's wearing these thick glasses, which makes him a bad basketball player. And additionally, he has short, stubby fingers here, and they also have short, stubby toes, which makes it really hard to pick up these big basketballs. All right. These patients also have cardiac issues, so I have this little guy here clutching at his chest in pain, signifying the cardiac issues. He's also having joint aches, symbolized by these kind of red marks around his joints, around his knees. And this patient's also, I'm having him bent over, reaching up, reaching for this basketball here. And being bent over is going to be our recurring symbol for an autosomal recessive. So Weill Marchesani is an autosomal recessive syndrome. Right? And here we have another one of his teammates here trying to make a layup. And here the basketball here is symbolizing the lens in the eye, and it's a small basketball passing easily through the hoop here, and the hoop here for us is going to symbolize the iris. So these patients have microspherophakia, small lens, which can dislocate anteriorly through the iris, and at times if the lens gets kind of caught in the iris, this can result in pupillary block. And you can also imagine another player trying to block this player from making the layup, so pupillary block. Okay, and of course, no basketball game is complete without any music or entertainment. So we have our very famous singers here, Mr. Adam Levine and Taylor Swift. So the gene of Weill Marchesani syndrome is associated with the Adam TS gene. So Adam for our Adam Levine and TS for, of course, Taylor Swift. So they're here singing at the basketball game, entertaining everybody. And we'll move over here to look over at some photos. So here in A, we can see microspherophakia, the small lens over here, kind of dislocated. And again, showing the same thing here. This small lens is dislocated anteriorly and touching the iris here. All right, and D and E are just showing the short, stubby fingers that is associated with this syndrome. All right, so to recap here, we have our Weill Marchesani patient that is a high myope with the thick glasses, short, stubby fingers and short, stubby toes, the heart issues, joint aches, and it is an autosomal recessive syndrome. So I have this guy bent over here, and these patients are associated with microspherophakia, which is the small basketball here, passing easily up anteriorly through the iris, which is represented by the basketball hoop, and sometimes can result in pupillary block. And this syndrome is associated with the Adam TS gene, which is symbolized by our Adam Levine and Taylor Swift. All right. So that is it. Thank you.